My name is Deepesh Patel, editor at Trade Finance Global. Here we are here at ITFA Abu Dhabi, their 49th annual Trade and Forfaiting Conference. I'm joined by the chairman of ITFA, Sean Edwards. Welcome.
Thank you, Deepesh. Lovely to be here again.
As always, and thank you very much for having us. So I guess this is going to be a quick fire round, so I'm going to ask you to cover some of the key themes throughout the conference. But first of all, what's been your general thoughts on the conference so far?
The first thought that came to me is, how can we do better than this next year? I think we've really reached the heights of what the perfect conference is here. So we've got an amazing space. We've got a lot of delegates, 400 plus. We've got some great panelists, not over yet, but great speakers, a great panel you did earlier on, and great networking opportunities, and everyone's just loving the mixture. And I think we've got that balance, which we always strive every year to change the ingredients a little bit. I think we've got it just about right this year.
No, brilliant. So, quick fire round. I'm going to say a word, and I want you to talk about it.
Yeah.
Sustainability.
Okay, so really important for ITFA. We're coming at it from a slightly different angle to the other trade associations, in that what we want to do is to try and help the banks report to the regulators. The current state of the dialogue between the regulators and the regulated is not great. The regulators have been honest that actually they don't know, and I'm talking here primarily about European regulators, they don't know exactly how to regulate the space. In other words, how to measure the banks against various targets. So we want to help with that dialogue firstly, but very importantly, we want to be able to produce data to validate the reporting standards that we're going to produce. So that's a really big project that we're hoping to get going this year.
Okay, next, it's a phrase, trade credit insurance.
Trade credit insurance. So this is where we've been very active on the lobbying advocacy front. So great panel actually this morning about Basel and how that's playing out in relation to trade credit insurance. It's and also a survey that we've done that shows a massive increase in use of trade credit insurance. It is very often the silent partner in trade finance, but it's incredibly important. Non-payment insurance, trade credit insurance, whatever you want to call it, very important partner. The Basel changes don't treat that very well, or rather they don't recognise some of the specific aspects of insurance, such as the fact that actually policyholders have got a privileged position, treating insurers as corporates rather than financial institutions. So we've had a success, the first success in our advocacy struggles in Europe, in that we've managed to get an article inserted into the new CRR, Article 506, which is mandating the EBA to look at the impact of credit insurance. So that's why I say it's stage one, because we've got that in there. They need to produce that report. That report won't be out until next year sometime. That will look at whether there should be different treatment accorded to insurers. But we've made the case and they've listened, and still more to do, but it's a really good start.
Good. Distribution.
So distribution, that is really part of our tech agenda. So firstly, it's about creating the digital instruments that are easy to distribute and that are attractive to non-bank investors. So we have the ITFA group, the ITFA Trade Finance Investment Ecosystem, because we recognise that for non-bank investors who want to buy trade assets, there are often some obstacles, such as education, such as documentation, such as a rating, the ability to get ratings. We ran a very successful one-day event earlier this year, which I think you attended, Trade and Investment Forum, and trying to bring the non-bank investors understanding what they want and getting them in there so that banks can actually distribute their assets. They can't carry on just distributing to other banks. The circle is getting. Most banks have the same problems. So you're getting into this sort of ever decreasing closed loop. We need new blood in there, and that's what we're trying to do.
No, absolutely. The trade finance gap.
Trade finance gap. Well, again, that's another aspect of bringing in new bank investors. So I think one of the things we can do if we make the trade instrument attractive to the banks, we make it to the non-bank investors, and we believe that digital promissory notes and bills of exchange have got a big part to play here, but it may be some other variation of that. That once the cost of that is reduced through digitalization, through a much more liquid secondary market, that we're going to start to be able to tackle the trade finance gap, which of course has gone up now $2.5 trillion. That will be, it won't be the end, to quote Churchill, but it will be the beginning of the end, we hope, if that can work.
Absolutely. Multilaterals.
Yeah, so just come out of a great meeting with them. It's a two-way street, as I was saying to them. There's a lot that what we've recognised after we've spoken to them is actually that there is a lot that we are already doing within ITFA, education. We're not communicating well enough, and we're not targeting it well enough for particular emerging markets. A good example of this is something we're working on at the moment, the SWIFT loan, very simple format, loan format that's used very largely in Africa. We want to standardise that, make that easier, more easily understood, and increase liquidity in that market. So we need to tell them, and then they need to partner with us to getting the message out. And so I hope it's a two-way street, and I hope it's going to be mutually beneficial. But it was our second meeting with them, and they're very receptive. We had a really great panel earlier on at the conference, and it's an open door both ways.
Fine, and finally, I guess just to reflect the geography and where we are, MENA.
Yeah, so our MENA, the region or our regional committee? Because our regional committee has been...
Talk about both.
Both. So the regional committee has been fantastic. We had a great session yesterday with Etihad Credit Insurance, and ADEX, the Abu Dhabi Export Office, was organised by them. There's a lot of interest in this region in digital negotiable instruments. We had a fantastic meeting at ADGM on Monday, who are partnering again with us. We're about to sign very shortly another MOU with them to look at how we can facilitate and encourage digital trade, where we have the expertise and they have the clout. So that's worked really. So for us, it's, actually for digitization of trade, this has become a really, really important region. And it's an area where actually we are uniquely placed to deliver and help out.
So that was a very short snapshot, really covering the whole host of themes at the ITFA Abu Dhabi Annual Trade and Forfaiting Conference. That was Sean Edwards speaking to us, Chairman at ITFA. Sean, thank you very much.
Thank you.